So my name is Dorothy Ogdon. This is my colleague Delores Carlito. We are joint fellows. We're both at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. And so the reason we wanted to do this project is as I'm sure many of you have experienced, our institution tends to be very siloed. And so we wanted to develop a collaborative project that would enable us to kind of work out what the skills are you need to understand data and data visualization at any level, no matter what your discipline is, rather than taking an approach that's very disciplinary focused, to enable all of our colleagues to build up a framework to then create classes and things like that on. So in talking about this project and putting the proposal together, Delores introduced me to the term threshold concepts.
And threshold concepts are ideas in a discipline. They can be difficult to understand at the beginning. They transform the way you think about whatever the subject is. You can take what you learn across to different disciplines, and they're irreversible, meaning once you learn it, you remember it. And I think of, we were walking by something Latin and I couldn't read it, but I had a minor in Latin. And when we were learning vocabulary, has anyone here taken Latin? Okay. So you know, in other languages, you conjugate verbs. In Latin, you also decline nouns, meaning that a noun has an ending depending on where it is in the sentence. And it took me a couple of weeks, and then it was almost like a light bulb went off. Oh, okay, now I understand this. And then it also changed the way I viewed English and viewed Spanish. So a threshold concept changes the way you think about not only that topic, but other things. So when we were thinking about what to do with this, we were thinking in terms of those threshold concepts. So what are the big concepts that would go into data visualization literacy that could be applied across other topics, but we were thinking of specifically with data visualization. And we came up with these four. So, you want to go? You want me to?
Well, how about we trade off?
Okay.
So our preliminary idea of how this would work are kind of like the framework for ACRL. What's our overarching concept, and what are the things that inform that? So the first one we came up with was data and its visualization can be manipulated to achieve a desired result, and it sounds like it speaks to a lot of what we've heard today about ethics and context and even potentially metadata. So talking about data as an information object unto itself, how can you manipulate it, how can you change it, how can you give it context that makes it unreliable or reliable.
Okay, and if you are, I'll put the link for our guide up, but also over each of our little divisions we have descriptions. So data visualization is information, and information has a monetary value. That's the second thing we realized from our research, and that financial success may be determined by the amount of information you can get. The information may be presented in a way that is monetarily more rewarding for one group than another. And we also discuss automated decision making and how that could affect someone's understanding and affect the amount of the model and the individual's ability to understand.
Content is culture and community based, and this we were trying to speak to, and again, we've seen some of this today. How does your individual frame of reference impact what you'll take out of a visualization? Likewise, when planning a visualization, as we would when writing a paper or making some other kind of scholarly product, how does what we put into that, what is that supposed to communicate to a specific audience? Can you make something so general that everybody will get the same information out of it? Should you be planning in specificity?
And the last one we have is that it tells a story, and we've had a few people discussing that. So we relate to the world through stories, and we got, okay, well, I guess I gotta stop that. But you can click over each of these.
And I do have an ask too, is we would really like to make this more clickable and interactive, but we don't know what tool to use. So if anybody
Yeah.
knows a JavaScript that will work with Gephi, I have an early Gephi version of this that we'd like to evolve if anybody would like to chat about that.
I also mentioned our bibliography, the stuff that we had read a lot, and so I put our bibliography as a middle on here, and eventually, because in mapping this, I created a list of literacies, basically all the literacies that are out there, and their definition and who defined them. And that will eventually be up here with the literacies. Right now I just have a little infographic that discusses meta literacy and the new visual literacy outcomes, but that will eventually be up there